I want to welcome you to Friday's edition of Journey Through the Gospels. And today we are finishing up Mark. And we're in Mark chapter 16, and we are at the point of the story where Jesus has already died on the cross, he's been placed into a tomb, and now it's 3 days later. And these three women, early on a Sunday morning, they are on their way to the tomb of Jesus. They're going to go in and anoint the body of Jesus with spices. And as they're on their way, we see them having this discussion about who's going to roll this big stone out of the way so they can get in to the body of Jesus. But when they get to the tomb, they find that the stone has already been rolled away. Then they step inside the tomb and notice that the body of Jesus is gone, but there's a figure there, and it's an angel. And the angel begins to tell them the great news that Jesus has risen. He's risen. And then in the process of talking to the ladies, he says this in verse 7. "But go, tell his disciples and Peter, he is going ahead of you into Galilee. There you will see him just as he told you." Tell his disciples and Peter. Tell his disciples and Peter. Notice that Peter is named specifically. Now, why is that important? Well, if you go back a few chapters into Mark chapter 14, there's the story where Peter denies Jesus 3 times. I mean, Jesus told Peter, "You're going to deny me 3 times." And Peter says, "Oh, no, I would never do that. I would give my life before I would do that." And yet, Peter does indeed deny Jesus 3 times. Yet the angel said that they were to specifically tell Peter. Now, I think that shows us this, that Jesus is merciful. He's merciful. That even though Peter had denied Jesus 3 times, that Jesus wasn't willing to give up on Peter just yet. In fact, later on we see that in Acts chapter 2, we see that Peter is the one that stands up on the day of Pentecost and preaches, and 3,000 people surrender their lives to Christ. I mean, we see that Peter ends up doing great things and being one of the great early church leaders. Peter had failed in denying Jesus, but Jesus hadn't given up on him. Jesus wasn't willing to give up on Peter. And if Jesus wasn't willing to give up on Peter, he's not willing to give up on you either. If you've ever felt like, I have just done too many things, disappointed God too many times, there's no way that God could ever forgive me, I've done too many awful things, then remember Peter. Jesus gave Peter another chance. God is a God who gives second chances. And all he asks in return is that we turn to him. You see, he loves you, he cares for you, he wants nothing but the best for you. He simply wants you to turn to him. He's our loving Father in heaven. He loves us, he cares for us. And if you have ever felt like you needed a second chance, you can do that today. Turn back to him today. He's the God of the second chances, and he'll give you another chance. Just turn to him today. That's going to do it for today. That's going to do it for the Gospel of Mark. On Monday, we are going to begin the Gospel of Luke with Luke chapter 1. Hope that you have a great weekend, and I look forward to seeing you on Monday.